Hello folks, welcome back to the Octo channel. This is episode 3, and this is a different episode that we had before. As you can tell, I'm sitting in front of a fireplace, and we're just going to have a little bit of a fireplace chat from an unusual place. I am sitting just off the coast of Norway in the polar region. So not long ago we visited North Cape, which is the northernmost point in Europe, and it is New Year's Eve, so you can imagine it is cold and blustery and snowy, but we're having a good adventure. This is not a channel about travel. This isn't a travel blog. You can find wonderful travel blogs, even about this particular ship that we're on, which is the Havila Polaris. Havila Polaris. If you do a search, you'll find some wonderful videos explaining the voyage. Rather, this channel is about encouraging you, folks Octogeezer age, get off the couch and to chase your bucket list wishes. Do what you want to do. Don't sit home and vegetate on the couch all day. Now, you don't need to be a jet setter to get out and chase your bucket list. You don't need to be on a ship off the coast of Norway on New Year's Eve. Maybe your bucket list is simply going to the Grand Canyon for the first time. Or maybe you want to go to your hometown, ancestral hometown in Ireland or somewhere else in the world. You can do it, and you don't need to be a jet setter to do it. Octogeezer certainly isn't. Octogeezer is using a little bit of his retirement money to enjoy life to the fullest towards the latter years. So, how do we do it? Well, my husband Chai and I economize. We plan ahead. We booked this particular cruise a year ago, and we don't have a balcony or a window in our cabin. We've got an inexpensive indoor cabin, which is just fine because literally 5 steps from our cabin door, we have knee to ceiling windows looking out at the beautiful scenery of the North Norway coast. So you don't need to spend a lot of money to meet that dream, nor do you need to take a cruise every year. Just pick out one place, one destination that you've always wanted to go and plan for it. Save your bucks. You know, you can't take the money with you, and some of you are saying, well, Octogeezer, I want to make sure that my children and my grandchildren have something. Well, they're going to be just fine. Take care of yourself first. You're number one. And then if there's anything left over, fine. They can enjoy their inheritance. But don't cheat yourself out of a full life when you have the opportunity to do something that is fun. So although this isn't a travel channel about this particular cruise, I am going to show you some scenery from the Norway coast. It is a beautiful place to visit, and we came chasing the Northern Lights. Now, have we seen the Northern Lights? Well, a little bit. We haven't seen the big array, the big display that we had expected. We haven't given up yet. We still have a few days to see that. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Which brings me to a subject that I think is worth talking about. And that is a philosophy that you don't want to chase your expectations. I can tell you a story about probably 25 years ago. Chai and I went to the Grand Canyon. We were chasing the expectation of seeing the Grand Canyon for the first time. We bought a van tour that went to the Hoover Dam. We visited the dam gift shop, and then we drove miles and miles and miles, hours and hours, to a viewpoint in the Grand Canyon that was supposed to be spectacular. In fact, if we remember right, it is now the location where they have the glass walkway over the edge of the Grand Canyon. It was well before this was built. You get all the way to the Grand Canyon, get out of the van, walk to the edge, and guess what? Couldn't see a thing. It was so foggy you couldn't see the nose in front of your face. Back on the van, we get all the way back to Las Vegas. Everybody is saying, oh man, we missed the opportunity to see the Grand Canyon. We spent all this money, and what did we see? Fog. Well, we were chasing our expectations. Our expectations were that we were going to see the most beautiful sight we've ever seen in the world. We should have been, however, just enjoying our experiences, because now, 25 years later, we have a wonderful story to tell about the time we went to the Grand Canyon and saw nothing. So I think it is wise to remember to go through life not chasing your expectations. If you chase your expectations, you may very well be disappointed. That expectation may not be met, or may only be partially met, may not be what you expected at all. But if you're living your experiences, chasing your experiences, you're going to have stories to tell that will last a lifetime.
Well, it's that time of the video when I show you how well I'm doing or not doing on the accordion. Now keep in mind, I am an old man. I am so old. How old are you? I'm so old I remember preparation G. I am so old. How old are you? I am so old. When I was a kid, the Dead Sea was only 6. Let's grab that accordion. We'll show you what I'm doing. So, Octo Geezer friends, I've got a treat for you today. Today we're going to be talking to our friend Bruce, who is on the other side of the world. In fact, he is so far away from here that it isn't today, it is tomorrow where he is at. So Bruce, welcome to the Octo Geezer channel, and how is everything tomorrow?
Well, the world didn't end before today, so we're doing well. And as you can see, I hope you don't mind, I brought a friend, so he's going to keep an eye and make sure you're very nice during this whole interview.
We will watch what we say and be very respectful to your friend back there.
But not to me, right?
Not to you, of course not, no. So, you know, folks, the idea of this channel is to encourage people to get off their couch as they get into their post-retirement years. And I've got a model of somebody who is certainly not sitting on their couch all day. He's actually in Thailand. I believe right now you're in Jomtien, or are you in Chiang Mai?
Yeah, in Jomtien, yeah.
Jomtien, yeah, wonderful beach town. And I would expect Bruce most days just sits out on the beach and drinks his pina colada and lets the world go by. Is that correct? Is that your lifestyle?
Not really, no. I very seldom get to the beach, actually. I just love looking at the ocean from my balcony. That's what I really enjoy.
Well, the reason we're talking to you today is I know that you have been quite active in a couple things. And I want to explore 2 areas. First of all, there are people that put YouTube channels on, such as the Octo Geezer, with a little knowledge and a little preparation, and what you get is what you see. But then there are people that go out of their way to do it just right. And of all the channels I visited on YouTube, I can't think of a better channel than the one Bruce hosts. And if you look to the right of him, you'll see it's called Let's Live in Thailand. I encourage you all to click on that QR code, go there and watch his channel, because it is magnificent. So Bruce, I understand that you just decided one day that you want to do a series of videos with not any real experience in editing videos and all the things that go on behind the scene. What motivated you to do that, and what was the process?
Well, I let me take it a little bit back in time. This started actually when I was 30 and suddenly decided that I was getting old.
Yeah,
So I
years
made a
and years
resolution.
ago.
I'm sorry?
Years and years ago.
Just a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I decided that every 5 years, to keep from getting old, I needed to learn something new. So when I was 30, I learned how to juggle. And I've learned languages, I've learned computer programming. Every 5 years, I have to say, okay, I have to do something I've never done before. And so when I got to 65, I would locally, because I speak both Thai and English, I'm kind of a resource for many people to wend their way through their life in Thailand. They all come to me. During COVID, for instance, I was kind of the central resource for Westerners, a group of Westerners, on how they could get their COVID shots and information and everything in Thailand. And it came to me that maybe I could share this with a wider group. The thing is, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do videos. I didn't know how to do video editing. I didn't know how to do YouTube. So, here's my 65-year new thing to learn. So that was really the motivation.
That's a wonderful nugget of advice for our listeners. You might consider, folks, doing something new every 5 years or every so often. The world is open to all these different ideas. Bruce, was it a challenge being 65 to learn how to be a video editor?
Not really. I'm already pretty technically astute at a lot of different things. I had done a lot of HTML with embedded video and things like that. So it was just a matter of finding which free software there was, because I'm a real cheapskate, and playing around with it and learning it. And then really the challenge was I spent 14 months researching and writing the videos. That's before any film was taken. So I used that 14 months while I was writing and editing the text. And my good friend John Carlberg, who's a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, kindly acted as an editor for me. But during that 14 months, I then had plenty of time to play with software.
Excellent. Yeah, that really sounds like a challenge. And I know from my little experience that it is very technical. And if you really want to get good at it, you've got to spend the time and the effort and learn it. And you've obviously learned it well, because your channel is just a joy to watch, with all the cute things that pop up, the elephant in the room and whatnot. You folks will really enjoy it.
I was trying to see if I could get her into the Zoom video, but she's busy today.
How about your juggling? You still juggling?
No. I mean, I can still do 3 balls, but it's not worthwhile doing on video, trust me. We need a wide-angle camera, because I'd be running back and forth across the screen chasing the balls.
I was going to invite you to another video where you could just juggle, but you let me know when you're ready for that. You may need.
When you're ready to play Toccata and Fugue in D minor on the accordion, I'll juggle for you.
Hey, I played my Spanish Eyes today. It's sounding pretty good.
All right,
And,
great.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I don't know that I'm looking forward to listening to it, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, you are so cruel. So the other
give me bad karma, is that the thing?
The other aspect of this video is, because the subject of your video is Let's Living in Thailand, there are a lot of folks watching this channel. Well, let me take that back. I hope there's a lot of folks watching this channel, besides the 2 that subscribed, that may decide that they want to live somewhere other than the good old USA in their retirement years.
I can't imagine why.
I can't imagine why. You have got, how many, 12 episodes now?
12 weeks, 14 episodes. And just as a plug, I'm launching this week a new podcast called Let's Live in Thailand Topics, which will be a bit shorter videos that are answering questions from viewers.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to it. So let's say there's somebody out there that's thinking about moving either to Thailand or Portugal or some other place that they think might be more suitable to their lifestyle. what very, very basic advice, because we're going to invite them to go to your video and watch, get the full story. But if you had to give them some advice about just making that decision about whether or not to move, what would you tell them?
Well, I think it's encapsulated again, like you said, in the first week's video there's two questions to ask. And that is, why are you moving? And are you appropriate for living overseas? And those are really the questions you have to ask yourself. And the biggest question, or the first question to ask, of course, is why? Is it because you need to save money? Is it for political reasons? Is it because you want an education? It's because you want to be a better person, like Mark Twain would say you would be after you see the world. Or is it just because you're looking for something new to do when you turn 80? I don't, it's that thing. But once you've answered that question of why do you want to go and be an expat? Then you need to look at the locations that you're thinking about and really investigate whether you can adapt to the culture shock. I think it's actually in the second video, I go through the elements of what is culture shock, and then I answer some questions specifically about Thailand. But if you ask those same questions about, can you adapt to the weather? Can you adapt to how people relate? Can you adapt to the culture and religion? Can you adapt to the lifestyle? Can you adapt to the environment? Things like I bring up in Thailand is, when I first moved to Thailand, probably 80% of the public toilets were squat toilets. Now they have all these fancy Japanese things that wash you when you're done, and unless you have a computer science degree, you have no idea what buttons to push to get your business done. So a lot has changed in the past 36 years. But wherever you're going, there's going to be a lot of things like that. And if you can't see yourself adapting to those, or at least accepting those, then the move can be very, very difficult. I see a lot of expats here who do nothing but complain because things aren't like it is at home. If that's the way you're looking at it, then maybe moving overseas to be an expat is not for you.
At the same time, there are those that it works out very well with some folks. So it all depends on if the shoe fits. You might try it on, and if you wear it, fine. If not, you go back where you came from.
Well, I think that's a good point. I think a lot of people, and I've actually run into some of these folks who have only been to Thailand for a week or two on holiday, and then suddenly when they retire, they sell everything and ship their furniture and their cat and their gerbil over to Thailand, and they get here, and 6 months later, they're miserable. It's much better, I think, to, like you say, try the shoe on first. Spend more than just a couple of weeks or holiday. Really live here or anywhere for a while, a month, 2 months, 3 months, before you make that final decision.
Excellent points there, Bruce. I'm sure the folks out there that are considering it appreciate that input. And again, we encourage them to go to your channel to watch it. So, yep, there you go. So for closing, we always ask our guests, what advice do you have to folks that may reach their 60s, their 70s, their 80s, see that couch, sit in front of it, watch the Weather Channel all day? What would you advise them to do to enhance their final decades?
Well, I think the first thing to audit in yourself is, what are your physical capabilities? Because that, of course, affects a lot. And if you spent time taking care of yourself and making sure that you're functional and mobile, and I think mental capabilities and mobility are a big part of that, then you should spend a lot of your post-retirement years preserving those. And there's really two ways to do that. One is move. I think that's number one. And for physical capabilities, and you'll get lots of advice of, oh, you should do 1,000 steps a day or 10,000 steps a day, and you should do weight training, this or that. You'll figure it out for yourself. Just make sure you can keep moving. And second, to keep mentally active, because of course the brain also has a tendency, especially if it's watching TV, to stagnate. So simple rules, just keep yourself moving. And then, of course, social interaction is also very important, both for mobility and for thinking. So those are kind of the things that I would advise people to really pay attention to if they're no longer in a career.
Excellent. Well, Bruce, I thank you so much for joining us and giving us those words of wisdom today and telling us all about your video editing and your wonderful YouTube channel that's called Let's Live in Thailand. I really appreciate the time, and I just feel bad because I've robbed you of an hour of beach time, and I'm sure that the beach outside your condo is just looking wonderful right now. Bruce, thank you so much. We hope to visit you again sometime on this channel, and you take care, be well, and keep that 5-month goal, 5-year goal with something new every 5 years. I think that is just a wonderful example of what folks might try to emulate.
Yeah, it's time for me to now consider what am I going to do at 70. So
yeah, I would recommend the accordion. It is wonderful. Just don't get one like I did. It weighs 150 pounds.
Well, that's part of the whole mobility thing. It's probably a good thing that it weighs more. If you can avoid the weight training.
Probably, yes. I think I should have stuck with the harmonica, but I'm stuck with what I have. So, all right, sir. You take care. Right. Thanks again. Keep everything fine in Thailand. And Sawadee Kap. Talk to you later, sir.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Well, folks, that wraps up another episode of the Octo Geezer. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, until we meet again, you stay active and enjoy every day of your life. Bye for now. And yes, Virginia, we did see